It's finally here. I picked up my new Tesla Model Y and all of my Tesla fanboy dreams will come true. It looks like my delivery was among the first few for Toronto. I'll be sure to make some videos soon about things like how awesome it is and how not so awesome it is. But I think the best way to set the stage for all that is to talk about what I'll be giving up and the top 5 things that I'll worry that I will be missing as I leave the world of conventional cars and dive headfirst into living with an EV. So what I'm giving up is this, my 2015 BMW 428i xDrive Gran Coupe. And I share these things with you because if you're looking at a Model 3 or a Model Y and you're driving a modern car like this, you just might relate. Number 5, the heated steering wheel. That's right, both the Tesla Model 3 and the Model Y do not have a heated steering wheel. This BMW came with the most basic heated steering wheel, no intermediate settings, it's either on or off, it's not automatically triggered by climate control, not very fast to warm up, it's just the bare minimum. I was happy with it, and I'm going to miss it on the Model Y. If you splurge for the Model X or the Model S, you will have a heated steering wheel, but not with the Model 3 and the Y, even though by all accounts you are splurging, and you don't get one in that case. The Model 3 does have heated seats, and executed really well. Even the back middle spot gets heated, and Tesla as a community is trying to be serious about, as a company rather, is trying to be serious about the market for cars in colder climates like Canada. Just look at the fact that they have a development and proving ground in Alaska. Look at the new heat pump, which is a part of the Model Y, but they skipped the heated steering wheel. The other counterpoint to why that is because the Model 3 and the Y have vents that could conceivably blow directly at your steering wheel heater because there's no instrument cluster, there's no speedometer. But I think I'm going to be missing having a conventional heated steering wheel, and some consumers will consider this a point against the Model Y in their decision making. Number 4 is the physical controls. I've only been at it for a couple days in this Model Y, and I can say that I'm getting better at using the screen, but generally, no matter how you slice it, this is a compromise. You want to open the glove box? It's a 2-step process. You want to adjust mirrors, the steering wheel, the fan, whatever. All of these things require that you precisely suspend your hand in midair and hit an artificial button or two. Tesla keeps a lot of the critical things fixed in place, so the implementation is probably about as good as it gets if you are going to do away with physical controls altogether. And the rationale is that with everything being digital, more features could be beamed out, software updates could come in, and that's a positive. But there are better ways of doing this. Just look at the new Range Rover, the Velar, and the Sport, and all the other models. They've got these assignable dials and assignable buttons. So what the buttons do depends on the screen that you're in. That approach preserves your future-proofing and retains the ability to let me adjust something with tactile, tangible feedback. That would have been a better approach for Tesla to take, and they're missing an opportunity here. A couple of programmable dials would have made the whole process a lot more frictionless. One particularly awesome party trick that this 5-year-old BMW has that I'll miss a lot are these numbered buttons. These aren't radio presets. They're assignable to just about anything, such as speed dial or navigate to home, and so on. It's nice to sit down and just press one button and right away you're calling, your wife or your husband. And the BMW philosophy has always been to emphasize driving and keeping your attention on the road and preventing dilution of that experience. It kind of reminds me of the smartphone world, where it took me a very long time to ditch my BlackBerry because of its physical keyboard. And probably for a year, like many people, I hoped and waited for physical keyboards to make a comeback, but touchscreens got better and better. And I wonder if history will repeat itself with cars. I'd wager that it won't. It's going to be different. Another BMW specific thing that I really like, or that actually I think I'll miss, is this roller right here. It's a very unusual thing, and I bet most BMW drivers don't even really know what it does. I think they call it destratification, and the idea is this roller can fine-tune the temperature of the air that comes out of the center vent. And this is the one that will blow directly on your face, so if you wanted to make that a little warmer than the rest, you could. And BMWs are sticking with this destratification thing, and they've even refined it and made it better for their new models. I'll put a link in the description that shows you how they're executing it now on 2020 cars. Number 3 is quality touches. Right now, the talk surrounding Tesla is in the quality issues. Panel gaps, bad paint, scuffed, swirled, undersprayed paint, orange peeling, squeaks and rattles, things like this that just don't align, especially the taillights, the fender guards. I'll have a lot to say about this later on because my Model Y is by far the worst example that I have seen among all Tesla YouTubers that I've been watching. But let's assume for a moment all those will be resolved on my car and on later production runs. That's not what I'm talking about when I mention the quality touches. It's the other little things that Tesla is not even trying to achieve or trying to do as far as quality is concerned. For example, the piano black finish on the dash. Nobody likes it. Everybody wraps it with carbon fiber or something else. Ambient lighting, brushed trim pieces, this plain Jane headliner. All of these things are just not up to the quality standard that people are expecting at this price point. Another example that was so perfectly delivered by Doug DeMuro on one of his videos is the proximity key. I mean, it's working okay for me now. It uses my phone as a key. But the idea is with a BMW, the proximity key works incredibly well, and it always works. You could have your key in the trunk and you try to lock the car, it won't lock because the key's in the trunk. You could have the key in your pocket just 12 inches from being within the trunk just because you're standing by the trunk, and it won't, it will lock in that case. And in fact, you can kick under the bumper and the lift gate will open. This Tesla Model Y doesn't even have that feature of hands-free liftgate opening, and I wonder why. The sensor's not there, but could they conceivably use the camera with some sort of gesture control to bring that in a future update? Tesla engineers, if you're listening, please roll that out in the next one, please and thank you. Number 2 is the looks. I think the Model 3 is a good looking car. It's got the right proportions. It's got the sculpted look. It was easy to love in 2018 when it came out, and it didn't rock the boat the way you might say the Cybertruck did. And I think they made the right decision to sacrifice a little bit of rearward visibility to get the shape right. The rearward visibility is a problem that's made even worse in the Model Y, as you can see. But it doesn't matter. I'm glad they did it because sacrifices have to be made because the car has to look right. They say that if you don't look at your car after you walk away from it when you've just parked it in the parking lot, you don't have the right car for you. The 428 in my eyes was gorgeous. I think it's great, especially with this front end, the blackout trim, the 19-inch rims, the blue calipers, just very sleek, low slung. I mean, it's not a Ferrari Roma or a Porsche 911 993, but I'm definitely going to miss the sleek presence that the BMW has. And I must thank BMW for the absurdly large front kidney grille that they put on the new car, even though the new car is better in every respect, which is not out yet. I think it's in 2021 for the new 4 Series Gran Coupe. But they botched that front grille so badly, it's absurd. I'm sure we'll all get used to it eventually, but at the moment, by my taste, it's an unmitigated disaster, and they made it so easy for me to not wait for that car and go for this Model Y. But essentially the main issue with the Model Y, I'm getting off topic here, is at the end of the day it's a CUV. It's gonna prioritize headroom, ground clearance, all those things, and I'm gonna miss having what I think is a gorgeous sports sedan that I'm giving up with this 428i. Number 1, the driving dynamics, which is a marketing fluff term that I don't like to use, but I think you might know what I mean. I'm talking about the way the car feels from the steering wheel and the seat of the car. The Model Y is obviously a dual motor, and with the performance upgrade, it's an objectively much faster car than the 4 Series. The 4 Series did 0 to 60 in almost 6 seconds. The Model Y performance claims 3.6 seconds, and the handling is really remarkable considering how much rubber is on the road, and the brakes are phenomenal. I'm pretty sure they're Brembos. It's going to be an objectively better handling car, but the seat of the pants feel of that 4 Series, because of its lightweight, smaller dimensions, lower to the ground, is something that I'm going to be missing, because I'm essentially giving up a sports sedan for a truly heavy CUV. So what do you guys think? Is this a fair list, or do you share any of my thoughts? Do you have a Model Y and do you relate? Please let me know what you think, and if you enjoyed this, consider tossing me a like or a subscribe, and thanks for watching.